Aloha, hey, it's Julie Ziemelis, 365 Hawaii, Keller Williams Realty, Big Island, and I am here with Amber Haley from Real Broker, and she is our East Side wonderkin, and she's going to be talking to you about the East Side housing market. And today we're going to see if things have changed. So, Amber, take it on.
All right, time for your monthly market update. So we're going to jump into the statistics, talk some numbers over in East Hawaii. So we're going to talk about what's going on in the Puna district and the South Hilo district.
Okay.
Those are the two that we're going to focus on. And we will start with Puna because that is the busiest real estate market on the Big Island of Hawaii and over on the east side, obviously, as well. So let's talk about what's going on in Puna. So our median home value, which is a number that people are always very interested in, the latest full month of sales we had, the median home value was $350,000. And that is down just slightly from the month before where it's 360. So
Okay,
the last time we
10,000.
had one of these updates.
Okay.
And a year ago, 376,000.
So it has come down.
It has come down. We'll see what happens for the rest of the year. It's not a huge amount, and there is certainly a lot less trading and sales than there was, last year. So we got to take that kind of into consideration. The median values, we're taking a lot less home sales into account, but it's not a huge drop, but it is a drop. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about our days on market. So average days on market right now in the Puna district, 62 days.
That's going up.
So that is going up as well. So the month before it was 44.
Dude, that's a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot, but it's a lot. And then this time last year, 53 days on market.
Okay, so it is. I mean, and we'll go back to the fact that this is exactly what the Fed wanted to see happen by raising the interest rates.
Yes.
We're slowing down the housing market.
Yes, the housing market is definitely slowing down because, we have that kind of like perfect storm of people not really wanting to sell because so many homeowners are locked into much lower interest rates and all of that stuff.
Yeah, but also now the market in West Hawaii is coming to like a right. I think though that your side of the island was definitely a more affordable option. But I think that sometimes when you are looking at 7.5 to 7, a little bit more than that interest rates, that maybe the affordability just walked out the window too. And so it'd be interesting if you guys, if you're in the market right now and you're feeling the pinch, put it in the comments so that we have an idea of what you guys are thinking about, what you guys, are experiencing out there in terms of maybe looking at this report because you had wanted to get a house and tell us why you might be holding back. But also tell us if you're about to buy a house because Amber would love to be your realtor.
Yes.
So with that, what's happening then in our other market?
Okay, so let's talk about the South Hilo district.
Okay.
So South Hilo, the real estate values in general are a lot higher than the Puna district because we don't have the combination of super risky lava zones, which really brings that median home value down. Because I will tell you, most of the real estate that I sell in the Puna district goes for much higher than $350,000.
Yeah, that's just a middle experience. Okay.
Okay, so South Hilo, the median home values right now are $585,000.
So those are going up.
So that is going up. I know it's a little confusing over in East Hawaii. I feel like we had this last month too. And so the month before it was $568,000, and this time last year $480,500. So South Hilo is actually a good amount up from this time last year, whereas the Puna district is a little bit lower. I don't have a whole lot of insight into why that might be, although Puna is, and we're going to be talking about this for some bonus content later.
Right, bonus content.
Yes, is a little bit more affected when there is like volcanic activity and affected by things like lava zones. So it is a snapshot of data. Also, the thing to note about particularly Puna, but everywhere on the island, is that there's just a lot of different types of real estate for sale. So it's hard to make generalizations, and it's something to keep in mind if you're looking at numbers and statistics like we talk about at these market updates, because there's just some properties that sit on the market for a really long time.
Because they're dogs.
Because
I'll say it.
or, they have a risky lava zone, they have a lot of unpermitted. I was sending a house that somebody was super interested in, one of my clients this week that was at a really low price point. It had absolutely no county permits.
Oh.
So that's why not all the homes, even in the same neighborhood, are very comparable to each other.
Yeah.
And then you have different motivations and the way sellers are interpreting the market. Some people are still pricing really high, and then there's a couple market price reduction. So there's just different stuff happening all over the map. So it's hard to make really, really strong generalizations. So my best advice for those of you who are shopping in East Hawaii right now, listening to these, stats that are a little bit all over the place if you look at Puna versus Hilo right now, is to look at the individual property, and you can send it to me. I'm assuming everybody over here, you can send it to me, and I will tell you what's going on maybe with that specific house, because that is really the best way to do it in East Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay, so get this though. On the Hilo experience, you're closer to jobs,
Yes.
right? And there does seem to be a lot of people who are tied to the university and the medical system in Hilo.
Yes. Yeah. Those are probably the two biggest things. So people buying houses, there's a lot of people in the medical profession, or people who just want to live closer to town, to town and close to the hospital. And then there is a lot with the university. Yeah. Those are like the two kind of big things in Hilo. So a lot of people also just prefer living in Hilo, but there's just not as much turnover in a lot of those neighborhoods and subdivisions.
People,
a lot of them
people have been in there, generations on generations.
Generations and generations. And there's just not as much new development there happening as like in
not as much. Yeah, but none.
Yes. As there is happening, in the Puna district.
Right.
We see a lot of new construction going on in different parts of Puna. So yeah, it's just the real estate's more valuable because the Hilo area, that's all lava zone 3, and that's our our magic number for as far as real estate goes. So a lot of different factors with that, but just like the Puna district, there is we see some pretty cheap, like kind of fixer-upper homes, all the way up to multi-million-dollar properties in Hilo as well. Like everything
based on how close it is to the ocean.
Yes.
And also, I'm always going to say this on all these things: you get what you pay for on this island. So, if you see a house for $300,000, it's probably a reason.
Yes.
And Amber's really good at saying, no permits.
No permit.
That's right next to the, the next flow of Kilauea.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. That's why we refer to Amber over here, because people in other areas that aren't as familiar with that location might not know that kind of information, which is very valuable.
Yes.
Especially when as you're about to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home.
Yeah. I've seen all kinds of things in East Hawaii. I've sold yurts. I've sold completely unpermitted houses, which is essentially a land sale.
Yes.
So those all, if you're not an all cash buyer, you want to steer clear of those. And if you are somebody who sits at home, like we all do, and scroll Zillow and maybe the MLS or listing alerts and all of that, it's not always super easy to be able to tell. When you're just looking at a property, it doesn't always say in the description there for the public what's going on with that. So truly, if it does look too good to be true, it probably is. One neighborhood have been getting a lot of off-island buyer questions about is Leilani Estates, and you're familiar a little bit with Leilani Estates. So that is a lava zone 1 neighborhood, and there are beautiful homes there. And
well, I should have a little bit about the background of why people should know Leilani Estates.
Yeah, so Leilani Estates, if you've heard of it, it's probably from the 2018 eruption. That was a neighborhood where there were quite a few homes that were lost to lava flow. So
over 19 fissures opening up in the middle of that neighborhood.
Yes, but I will tell you, I have buyers all the time who send me properties who have maybe been to the Big Island, but maybe not that much. And even if you have, you might not be super familiar with the geography of it all. And when I have driven through Leilani Estates, a lot, it's very lush and beautiful and tropical, and you don't, always associate that with being in a risky lava zone. You're like, surely there wouldn't be this beautiful neighborhood there. But yes, so that is one I've been getting a lot of inquiries about. And also, if you see those properties, they often have a lot of days on market. So those are
that's your little warning sign. And also, do yourself a favor and take your little hands and pinchy and pull out on Google Maps and find out where fissure 19. Is it 9? Fissure 19.
Fissure 8 was the big one. That's it, but there's a bunch of them. So.
Yeah. Fissure 8 looks like a cinder cone in the middle of that neighborhood because it came up. and 50-mile-an-hour lava river to the end of the island. But let me ask you then, because those homes were beautiful. They were. I mean, there's some I'm sure that still are. So what's the price point on a house in Leilani Estates?
So the last house that I just sent out to a client was, I believe it was 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, fully permitted, very nice, beautiful house. So I would say it was like a pretty as standard as you could get for Leilani Estates, and that one was, they just price reduced to, I believe, $349,000.
Okay.
And that was their second price reduction, and they're at about 83 days on the market.
Okay.
So that's how long Leilani Estates is sitting. And I had talked to the listing agent because that one wasn't my listing. I was sending it out to one of my clients, and they had gotten offers that were having problems with financing.
And we're going to talk about this in the next little video
we'll talk
here.
more about this in the next video. So so there was just a lot of different reasons that even though there was some interest on it, that's just kind of sitting.
Do you find our channel interesting and entertaining?
Did you know that we sponsor this channel by ourselves?
One of our biggest compliments we get from our fans is when they reach out to us asking about their dream of moving to Hawaii.
We want to help you when you first arrive here for your success. We want you to acclimate to the island and build friendships and be part of life here. So by joining us, we can get you into the ecosystem that you will be calling home by getting you some new friendships, putting you into touch with events and different opportunities to volunteer.
We have worked for over 13 years here in Kona to create this ecosystem.
And with this ecosystem, we help you make your move successful. We offer free education on our 365 Hawaii Real Estate Minute channel. And the best part is that we give you the market updates 3 times a month. One in West Hawaii, East Hawaii, and another one that has 5 different realtors giving you their market updates from the different areas of the whole island. And that includes mortgage updates too. And our team includes our lenders that help you strategize a financial plan to move here. We also have stagers and videographers to help you sell your home for top dollar. So when you get a hold of us, we can also help you move off the island too. We've got a base of referrals across the United States and the islands to choose from.
So please reach out to us here at 365 Hawaii if you want to have our team help you move to the island.
You can do that by going to 365hawaiiliving.com. You can text, email, or simply reach out to us, and we will help you make the leap to living in Hawaii.
The people over here on Facebook land are going to get a chance to hear Amber discuss the pros and cons of buying homes on Lava Zone 1 and 2. And then people over here in YouTube land are going to get a separate video. That way people who are actually looking for homes in that side of the island and want to understand what the story is of Lava Zone 1 and 2 and why those homes are priced the way they are, it's going to get that question answered. But if you want to be on the live section of our discussion and get a chance to ask questions live, please join our Ohana at 365hawaiiliving.com. And the Ohana is for people who are not currently working with a realtor. So get into that group and you'll get a chance to get free books and resources and moving guides and get a chance to join our private Facebook groups. Now, you guys over in Facebook land, if anyone's on there, is there, Eric, is there anybody?
For people, but no question.
Okay, if you guys want to ask questions of Amber about the market or about any particular neighborhood, I know that now that we've been doing this for quite some time, that some of the other people have purchased homes and we've got new people coming in, and some of the people want to know a little bit more about different neighborhoods.
Yes.
And so I know that we've discussed HPP, which is Hawaiian Paradise Park. Why don't you pick another neighborhood that you want to talk about so that they can get some ideas about what that looks like Ainaloa or Broker Estates or anything else? Can you want to hit?
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of times buyers who are looking in Hawaiian Paradise Park, which most buyers who are looking in Puna at least look at 1 or 2 houses there because that's where the most inventory is. But we have talked about that neighborhood a lot. But I will kind of compare that to another really popular neighborhood, Ainaloa. Now, if you look at the address of Hawaiian Paradise Park, that's technically in Keau, and it's all Lava Zone 3. Ainaloa is also Lava Zone 3. It's technically in Pahoa. So it's the one neighborhood in Pahoa. So if you're looking on Zillow and all of that, that is Lava Zone 3. And that is kind of important. That's a really important thing, and why that neighborhood, in my opinion, has been so up and coming. Ever since I got licensed as a realtor in the state of Hawaii, I've just seen that neighborhood kind of really, really take off. People, it's a mix of a lot of people born and raised on Big Island and people who have relocated. There is new construction projects happening in that neighborhood. So that neighborhood is just north of Pahoa Town, if you've ever been to Pahoa Town. And it is about 35 minutes, maybe depending on traffic, south of like the center and the heart of Hilo Town. So and about 15 minutes from just south of Kayao Town. So anybody who maybe works in any of those areas or wants to be close to the services there, that's about the commute time. The lot sizes are quite a bit smaller than Hawaiian Paradise Park. So if you're looking for like a full sprawling acre where you're not right next to your neighbors, you might want to stick to a neighborhood like Hawaiian Paradise Park. However, the price points are a little bit lower in Ainaloa in general than in HPP. So that's something that's really appealing. So if you want to live in Pahoa, but you don't want to be in lava zones 1 or 2.
And you don't want to be responsible
Ainaloa.
for an entire acre of land.
Yes, which not everyone does. Some
No, in
people
fact,
love it, but it's a lot.
we just sold a home to our friends there, and I just saw them at a party, and they were saying that the lot, because they brought brand new construction, the lot was cleared to a certain point.
Yes.
And now they're digging behind what's left of their land.
Yes.
And they're realizing there's a jungle back there.
Yeah.
And it's a deal. Like there's like, they're going to have to do a bunch of stuff to the back end of this property. And I said, so what do you think is like the last quarter of your property? He's like, no, it's like the last half of the property. And I'm like, how far does an acre go back? And he's like, and the cinder that they've put around the house, because it's all brand new construction, to try and plant the fruit trees that he thought he was going to plant. It's a different story now because you have to prepare the soil in a different way than what he thought. So you guys, seriously, it's so many things. That's why getting somebody who can tell you the realities of buying land there is really important. And also, we joke around when people say, I want to move to Hawaii and buy a piece of land, that the landscaping is 24/7, 365.
It really is. It really is. Yes.
Yep. So with Ainaloa, you're a little bit tighter in the neighborhood.
Yes, you're a little tighter in a neighborhood, which is appealing, like we said, to some people, and less appealing to others. Probably one of the big things I hear people love about Ainaloa the most is they did put in a new Puna shopping center, which in East Hawaii, that has just been big news for quite a while. And there's new restaurants, it seems like, popping in there all the time, and different things to do on a Friday night. You know, there's not, a lot going on.
In
East
Pahoa.
Hawaii. So that's been kind of exciting to see, and it just kind of has created more of a place for the community to come together, which is nice. So we have a really nice, the Malama Market there is really nice, and there's restaurants, and there's a gym that I've never been to, but people say is great. So yeah, that's kind of a nice convenience of that neighborhood, because these are things that people relocating might not think about, is we just don't have as much stuff here. We don't have as much services, especially in East Hawaii. If you're coming from maybe a more urban setting on the mainland, especially, you're used to being able to get anything you want, probably on an app, on your phone, anytime of day or night, from anywhere. Drive 5 minutes. You can't here.
You can get somebody to actually come and take you to the airport in a lot of places in America.
You can, yes, you can. But you probably can't in Ainaloa, really.
Yeah.
But don't count on that.
Yeah, and even when you look at a map, you don't understand the scale of how long and big it is. If you guys don't know this, but Puna District is as big as the entire island of Oahu.
Wow, yeah. That really puts it in perspective.
Right, and you guys, if you don't know, the Big Island is as big as the state of Connecticut.
Yes.
And so you've got like a quarter of the island on the east side that basically is all rural.
Yeah.
And it's got these little townships, but it's basically, you're really rural.
Yes. And the Puna district is, everywhere on the island, we talk about microclimates all the time, even on our market updates sometimes. But the Puna district, in my mind, I kind of separate it into 3 areas that will really probably appeal to 3 really different types of buyers. So you kind of have the upper, what I in my head kind of call the upper Puna, and that's the Lava Zone 3 neighborhoods, like we're talking about Ainaloa, Hawaiian Paradise Park, Broker Estates. And then there's lower Puna, which is like down toward Kalapana. And you have Lava Zone 2 neighborhoods like Seaview Estates, and that's like, for in most people, a really different kind of buyer. People a lot of times who live down there, like a really really remote kind of
Off grid.
A lot of off grid, it is riskier lava zone. It's a kind of a different lifestyle almost. You're probably not living down there if you're wanting a really convenient commute to Hilo every day.
If you like mall shopping,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. And then you have the section of Puna that's like up toward Volcano or on the way to Volcano. You have Mountain View, Curtistown,
Fern Acres.
Glenwood, the neighborhoods like Fern Acres, Fern Forest, all of that, which is a very different climate.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like an artsy community up there. There's really not a lot of like services and
Right. There's acres of flower growers.
Yes.
And it's a higher elevation, so it's cooler.
Yes.
And
it's
it rains a lot
cooler,
more.
Rainier, different climate. So in my mind, that's how I've kind of always divided it up. And when I do consultations with new buyers, like hopefully, some of you may be watching this, I like to try and help you figure out where when you're on island, you can kind of be strategic about where you drive around, because probably not all of those parts of Puna are going to appeal to everyone
That's
or
right.
work with their lifestyle. So
Right. Good.
So there you go.
You guys, telling you, I didn't know about all of that until I had been on this island for, I don't know, 8 years.
Yeah.
And I used to call, I'd say my friend lives over in the Hilo area. My friend lives in HPP. She's like, oh, that is not the Hilo area.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, we live in Ka'au. And I'm like this, where the heck is that? And if you drive around this island, you guys, you get a chance to see the other side. It is the tropical rainforest that you see in the movies.
Yes.
Right? It's not the, and even when people see how much lava we have, they're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
We've got lava. You guys can drive from Kona up to the North Resorts and just be in 25 miles of open lava zones. And it's dry and it's parched and it's a desert like. And they're like, oh, this doesn't look like Hawaii. Your side of the island looks a lot more like Hawaii, but also it's rural. And
Yeah.
so we also have people who've moved there and they say that they just weren't prepared for really how the lack of services.
Lack of services, yeah. And then if you're picturing in your mind like that lush green tropical next to calm white sand beach, they don't really
No, they
so
don't
much
work
exist
together.
in the same place on this island. So
Right.
a lot of people don't realize that if you're really into like water sports and that calm, just like in your mind idyllic golden sand beach, that's not going to be by the tropical waterfalls in the rainforest on the Big Island.
Totally
So,
separate.
Yeah.
Yep, you get cliffs and pounding waves.
Cliffs and yes. Not so much like safe to jump in and swim just anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
Yep, but I'll tell you too, my little friends are constantly posting every single morning. They post a picture from their backyard.
Yes.
And watching the sunrise every morning.
Yes.
They love that. And it's kind of funny because if you guys, again, I don't know who, sometimes you don't understand that in West Hawaii, we see the sunset, but we don't see it rise because we have a mountain right there. So it has to come up over Huala. And these guys can actually stand on a cliff somewhere on your side of the island and you can watch the sunrise out of the ocean, right? Yeah. So again, that's part of the thing too. It matters what you want to do with your life. Do you want the morning time or do you want the sunset cocktails over here in Kona? And that's why Amber's over here on Wednesdays when she meets with me because that's what she likes. So
Yes. And also, do you want to pay $1 million for
yeah.
or 500,000?
Yeah, that's
That's
the
the
price
other like
difference.
slight thing
Yeah,
too
yeah.
for some of us.
Yeah, that does make a difference. That's livability as well.
yeah.
But I'll tell you though, most of the people that I've said, which one do you like better? People who like to garden
Yeah.
love East Hawaii.
Yeah.
And people who like water sports and doing all the stuff and living in condos and stuff like that, like the West Side. So we don't have that many condos in East Hawaii.
No.
So you like land and you like a lot of it. There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my wonderful husband, Eric Ziemelis, who's also a realtor. And any questions or any comments? Okay. Does anyone want to who's watching it, who actually lives in East Hawaii, want to drop some bombs on why you love living there? In fact, if you look at the Hilo newbies group, my friend who helps run that group posted, "What do you love about living in East Hawaii?" Because I posted, "What do you love about Kona?" And that was preceded by the fact that I put, "What do you wish people had told you about moving to Kona?" Which proceeded into a interesting discussion about healthcare issues, and that's one thing too that the Hilo hospital is
Yes.
one of the best on the island.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have pretty good healthcare, and they've got the doctors over there and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty good, but if you need, a lot of specialty stuff, no matter what, you're going to be flying to
You're gonna
Oahu.
find Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. Also, did you hit, just throwing back because I have ADD? Did you hit days on market in Hilo?
We did in case we didn't, for Hilo, days on market is 65 for our last full month of sales, and compare that to the month before, it was only 28.
Whoa.
Yes, and then this time last year 34. So our stats are a little bit wonky for Hilo.
Yeah.
But there were only 19 sales
Okay.
in Hilo
Okay.
for that we're including in that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah, 68.
Yeah. So like still, you know, a little bit of something, something. Because before people would buy anything, boom, as soon as it came on the market. Where maybe people are saying, you know what, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Yeah. And it also, it could be how people are pricing just
Yeah,
in that,
yeah.
that bunch too. So
Yep. So again, though, we always go back to this too. If you're waiting for the housing market to crash, it's not happening right now. So,
and in fact, I do see like if rates go down, probably a lot more buyers jumping in. That's what I predict, and a lot of people across the country are predicting. So it might get real competitive again.
yeah. But then they're saying that might not happen until next summer. We'll see, because
We shall
the
see.
economy does its thing.
That's why we're here for you every month. We'll keep,
Right.
we'll keep
it going.
See what's going on.
It's happening with the market. So, okay, so what we'll do is we'll wrap up the market update, and we will keep you guys live on that side, and we will say aloha to you guys on this side. And keep in mind that we'll put in the description of this video. We're going to put Amber's contact information, and also we will also put maybe some more information about the link to what we're going to talk about next, which is the pros and cons of Lava Zone 1 and 2.